Story 1. The Lost Horse. In a small village nestled in the mountains, there lived an old farmer named Wei. One day, as Wei was tending to his crops, he noticed that one of his prized horses had escaped from the stable and disappeared into the surrounding hills. The villagers gathered to express their sympathy, believing that this loss would bring great misfortune to Wei and his farm. But Wei remained calm and simply replied, "Perhaps." A few days later, to everyone's surprise, the lost horse returned to the village, accompanied by a magnificent wild stallion. The villagers marveled at the sight of the two horses and congratulated Wei on his stroke of luck. They believed that this unexpected turn of events would bring him great wealth and prosperity. However, Wei remained unperturbed and said, "Perhaps." One morning, while Wei's son was attempting to tame the wild stallion, he was thrown off and broke his leg. The villagers gathered once again, expressing their sympathy for the misfortune that had befallen Wei's family. They believed that this incident would bring great sorrow and hardship. Yet, Wei's response remained the same. "Perhaps." A few weeks later, the emperor's army arrived in the village, conscripting all able-bodied young men to join them in a war far away. Due to his broken leg, Wei's son was exempted from the draft. The villagers were devastated as they bid farewell to their sons, fearing for their safety in the face of the impending battle. Wei, however, maintained his calm demeanor and uttered, "Perhaps." As time passed, news arrived that the emperor's army had suffered a crushing defeat, and many of the village's young men had lost their lives. The village was filled with grief and mourning, but Wei's son returned safely, thanks to his broken leg. The villagers were amazed by the wisdom and foresight of the old farmer. They approached Wei and asked how he could remain so composed amidst life's ever-changing circumstances. Wei smiled and shared his perspective. "In life, there are many things that we cannot control," he said. "We can never truly know whether a particular event is fortunate or unfortunate. What appears to be a setback may lead to a hidden blessing, and what seems like a stroke of luck may bring unforeseen challenges. By embracing life's uncertainty and not attaching ourselves to the judgments of good or bad, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering." From that day forward, the villagers began to see the world through Wei's eyes. They learned to accept the ebb and flow of life, recognizing that every situation carries the potential for growth and transformation. And so, the story of Wei and the lost horse became a timeless reminder to embrace the mysteries of life with open hearts and minds, trusting in the unfolding of each moment, and finding peace in the midst of uncertainty. Story 2. The Zen Gardener. In a remote mountain village, there lived a wise and humble gardener named Zenji. Zenji was known for his serene presence and the beautiful gardens he meticulously tended. People from far and wide sought his wisdom and came to marvel at the tranquil oasis he had created. One day, a curious traveler approached Zenji and asked, "Master Zenji, your gardens are truly remarkable. How do you maintain such beauty and serenity?" Zenji smiled and motioned for the traveler to join him amidst the blossoming flowers. He began to share his philosophy. "Creating a garden is not just about planting and tending to the physical aspects," Zenji said. "It is a reflection of the inner landscape of our minds. To cultivate a peaceful and harmonious garden, one must first cultivate inner peace." Intrigued, the traveler asked, "But Master Zenji, how does one cultivate inner peace?" Zenji paused for a moment, gazing at the delicate petals of a lotus flower before responding. "Inner peace begins with acceptance," he said. "Acceptance of the present moment, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. Like a garden, life is ever-changing, and by embracing each moment without resistance, we find peace." The traveler pondered Zenji's words and then asked, "What about the weeds, Master Zenji? How do you deal with them?" Zenji chuckled softly and bent down to pluck a weed from the ground. "Weeds are not inherently bad," he explained. "They are simply unwanted plants in a particular context. In the garden of life, we must learn to distinguish between the weeds that hinder our growth and the challenges that offer opportunities for growth." He continued, "Just as we remove the weeds from the garden, we can identify and release negative thoughts and emotions that no longer serve us. We cultivate mindfulness and nourish our minds with positive thoughts, compassion, and gratitude." As the traveler absorbed Zenji's teachings, he noticed a sense of calmness washing over him. Inspired, he asked, "Master Zenji, how can I apply these principles to my own life?" Zenji smiled warmly and replied, "Start by creating your own inner garden. Cultivate moments of stillness and reflection through meditation or mindful activities. Notice the thoughts and emotions that arise and gently tend to them, just as you would tend to the plants in a garden. Nurture self-compassion and extend kindness to others. As you cultivate inner peace, you will witness the transformation, not only within yourself, but also in the world around you. Grateful for the wisdom he had received, the traveler bid Zenji farewell and embarked on his own journey of cultivating inner peace. With each step, he carried the lessons of the Zen gardener, understanding that true beauty and serenity are found within, blossoming outward and touching the lives of all who cross his path. Story 3. The Fisherman's Smile. In a small coastal village, there lived a wise and content fisherman named Hiro. Hiro was known for his radiant smile and unwavering sense of peace. Despite living a modest and simple life, people marveled at his ability to find joy in the most ordinary moments. One day, a curious traveler arrived in the village and heard of Hiro's reputation. Intrigued, the traveler sought out Hiro to discover the secret behind his genuine happiness. Finding Hiro on the beach, the traveler greeted him warmly and asked, "Fisherman Hiro, I have heard tales of your radiant smile and inner peace. How do you find such contentment in this simple life?" Hiro smiled warmly and replied, "Ah, my friend, contentment is not found in material possessions or grand achievements. It resides within us, in appreciating the beauty of each passing moment." Intrigued, the traveler asked, "But Hiro, you have so little compared to others. How can you be so content?" Hiro's eyes sparkled with wisdom as he began to share his story. "Long ago, I was a man consumed by the pursuit of wealth and success. I spent my days chasing after bigger boats and greater catches, believing that material possessions would bring me happiness. But the more I accumulated, the emptier I felt inside. One day, while out at sea, a violent storm tossed my boat, threatening to consume me. In that moment, facing the uncertainty of life and death, I realized the true value of simplicity and the joy that comes from embracing what is essential." Hiro continued, "I returned to the village with a newfound perspective. I traded my large boat for a smaller one, allowing me to spend more time with my family and enjoy the simple pleasures of life. I caught just enough fish to sustain myself and shared the rest with those in need." The traveler listened intently, captivated by Hiro's tale. "But Hiro," the traveler asked, "don't you desire more? Don't you want to achieve greater success?" Hiro gently shook his head. "Success is not measured by the accumulation of wealth or possessions," he said. "True success lies in finding contentment in the present moment, in cherishing the relationships and experiences that enrich our lives." As they sat on the beach, watching the waves gently caress the shore, Hiro continued, "Every day, I wake up with gratitude in my heart. I am grateful for the rising sun, the laughter of children, and the taste of a simple meal. I find joy in the little things, for they are the foundation of a meaningful life." The traveler, inspired by Hiro's words and presence, felt a sense of peace wash over them. They realized that happiness and contentment could be found in the simplest of lives, free from the burdens of endless desires. With a heart full of gratitude, the traveler bid farewell to Hiro, carrying the wisdom of the fisherman's smile. From that day forward, they embarked on a journey to find contentment in their own lives, embracing simplicity and cherishing the beauty of each passing moment. And so, the story of Hiro, the content fisherman, became a reminder that true happiness lies not in the pursuit of worldly possessions, but in finding contentment within and embracing the simplicity of life's blessings. Story 4. The Stonecutter's Lesson. In a village surrounded by majestic mountains, there lived a stonecutter named Kazuki. Day after day, Kazuki worked tirelessly, chiseling away at blocks of stone with his hammer and chisel. Despite his efforts, he felt a deep sense of dissatisfaction and longed for a life of greater significance. One scorching summer day, Kazuki gazed upon a river flowing beside his worksite. The gentle current seemed to dance with grace, effortlessly carving its path through the rugged terrain. Inspired by the river's fluidity and ease, Kazuki whispered a wish, "Oh, how I wish I could be like the river, unceasing and unstoppable." To his astonishment, his wish was granted. In an instant, Kazuki transformed into a river, rushing and cascading over rocks and gushing through valleys. He marveled at his newfound power and reveled in his ability to shape the landscape. Yet as time passed, Kazuki noticed that even the mightiest of rivers encountered obstacles they could not overcome. He witnessed towering mountains that remained steadfast, unyielding to his force. No matter how fiercely he flowed, he could not erode their presence. Filled with frustration, Kazuki wished to become something greater than the river. Instantly, he transformed into a massive boulder perched atop a mountain. The view from the peak was breathtaking, and Kazuki felt invincible. But as time passed, he realized that he was immobile and stagnant. He longed for the freedom and flexibility he had as the river. Yearning for change, Kazuki wished to become something even more powerful than the boulder. And so, he transformed into a magnificent statue, admired and revered by all who beheld him. But he soon discovered that despite the admiration, he was no longer connected to the natural world. He felt trapped, longing for the movement and vitality he once possessed as the river. With a heavy heart, Kazuki realized that true happiness could not be found in trying to be something he was not. He understood that acceptance of his own nature was the key to finding inner peace and contentment. He yearned to return to his life as the stonecutter, but with newfound wisdom and appreciation. In a moment of clarity, Kazuki whispered his final wish. "I wish to be myself, a humble stonecutter, in tune with the natural rhythms of life." As his wish was granted, Kazuki returned to his old form. He picked up his hammer and chisel, and with renewed purpose, he resumed his work. This time, he embraced each strike of the hammer as an expression of his own uniqueness and contribution to the world. Kazuki no longer longed to be the river, the boulder, or the statue. He understood that his true power lay in accepting and embracing his own journey, knowing that each strike of the hammer brought him closer to revealing the beauty within the stone. From that day forward, Kazuki lived a life of fulfillment and joy. The villagers marveled not only at his skill as a stonecutter, but also at his radiant spirit. He had learned the invaluable lesson of accepting life's natural flow and finding contentment in being true to oneself. And so, the story of Kazuki, the stonecutter, became a timeless reminder to embrace our own unique paths, appreciating the ebb and flow of life's journey, and finding fulfillment in being authentically ourselves. Story 5. The Tea Master and the Samurai. In ancient Japan, during a time of political unrest, there lived a renowned tea master named Haruki. Haruki was known for his impeccable skills in the art of tea ceremony, as well as his wisdom and calm demeanor. People sought his guidance in times of turmoil, including a powerful samurai named Takeshi. One day, as the country was embroiled in conflict, Takeshi arrived at Haruki's tea house, seeking solace and guidance. Takeshi, burdened by the chaos and violence around him, longed for a sense of inner peace. Haruki, sensing the samurai's troubled state, welcomed him with a warm smile. As they sat in the serene tea room, Haruki prepared a pot of tea with grace and precision, mindful of every movement. He poured the fragrant tea into delicate cups and offered one to Takeshi. As Takeshi took a sip, he noticed Haruki's unwavering composure amidst the chaos. Intrigued, he asked, "Tea Master Haruki, how do you find such serenity in these troubled times?" Haruki's eyes sparkled with wisdom as he replied, "Samurai Takeshi, chaos surrounds us, but true peace is found within. The way of tea teaches us to embrace each moment with mindfulness and harmony, even in the midst of turmoil." Curious to learn more, Takeshi inquired, "But how can I find peace in the face of such uncertainty and violence?" Haruki poured another cup of tea and began to share his wisdom. "The path to inner peace lies in accepting the present moment as it is, without resistance," he explained. "Like the tea leaves that surrender to the hot water, we must surrender to the flow of life, embrace the challenges and adversities, for they are the crucibles that shape our character." Takeshi listened intently, captivated by Haruki's words. "But Tea Master Haruki, how can I maintain inner peace while fulfilling my duties as a samurai?" Haruki smiled gently and replied, "Strength and inner peace are not mutually exclusive, my friend. The key is to wield your sword with a heart rooted in compassion and a mind anchored in serenity. Even in the heat of battle, find moments of stillness and clarity. Let the chaos around you be a reminder to stay centered and grounded." As the samurai reflected on Haruki's words, a sense of calmness began to wash over him. He realized that his true strength lay not in the might of his sword alone, but in the balance between strength and inner peace. From that day forward, Takeshi became a regular visitor to Haruki's tea house. He learned to find solace in the simple act of preparing and savoring tea, allowing it to anchor him in the present moment and guide him towards inner harmony. As time went on, Takeshi's presence became a symbol of peace and integrity among the samurai. He embraced his duties with a newfound grace and wisdom, influencing others with his ability to maintain composure amidst chaos. And so, the story of Haruki, the tea master, and Takeshi, the samurai, became a testament to the power of finding inner peace, even in the most tumultuous times.